Oh. Yeah.
Woo!
Come on.
Yeah, I feel it.
That's it. That's the show, everybody.
That would be the best show we ever did.
Live from your ESG smokeless peach pit. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at September 20th. Lane Studios featuring one of your favorites, AnalystHole-man Matt Moscardi. Nobody's clapping. On today's weekly wrap-up, Nike goes back to the future. Chief Kneeler Jamie Dimon yells at young people. Evil tech CEOs continue to be evil.
Evil, I think the word, yeah.
And directors who love a free ride. Woo-hoo.
Yay! Wait, is that limited to just directors? Doesn't everybody love a free ride?
Especially directors in our database. Today's show is brought to you by freefloatanalytics.com. Everything you ever wanted to know about who runs public companies, all for free.
Yep, that is correct.
I'm going to say that again. freefloatanalytics.com. And to make it even more confusing, go to freefloat.llc if you want to download any of the data drops that we reference frequently on these channels.
I got a massive data drop for today's show.
I like today's, actually. Was it today's? Is it
massive? It's already up.
Is it the one that with the directors from the industry, the FedEx industry, that one? Industry?
No, that one is
like
from our
one.
Proxy Countdown show,
but I like that.
which also
I like that
is
data
up.
drop. All right,
but
you going to get to it later?
Big one. Yeah, we'll get to it later. Come on,
let's go into it. It's
Friday.
Friday. Come on. We got lots of stuff. Story of the week, goodliest, all the nonsense.
There's a lot.
Come on.
It's all nonsense. Everything we say is nonsense. Fact-based nonsense.
Help me out here, Matt. I struggled this week. Maybe you can fill in the gaps. I did pick 4 stories, but I don't even know if these are the right ones. The first 2 I feel good about. Ready? Nike CEO John Donahoe is out.
Yeah. Woo!
Replaced by kind of a boomerang executive at least, company veteran Elliott Hill, who was at the company for I think 3 decades, and he retired in 2020, right about when John Donahoe took over, but he's back.
How's that for an I'm sorry we didn't pick you the first time? Like after 30 years, you don't get the CEO job.
Yeah,
you decide,
off.
You know what? It's not for me.
He didn't have to run Nike during the pandemic. He didn't have to do it during COVID-19.
And then they call him up 4 years later, and they're like, you know that John guy that we picked? We didn't like him that much. So,
here's what's interesting about this from the perspective of our data at freefloatanalytics.com. So Nike co-founder Phil Knight said that he couldn't be more excited to welcome Elliott back to the team, and that we've got a lot of work to do. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yes, we do have a lot of work to do, but Phil Knight doesn't actually work at Nike. He's not actually on the board.
Oh, no. What?
But this is where we fill in all these gaps for you, because according to our data, his son is on the board, and his son holds 64% of influence. No, it's 54% of influence. And chair Mark Parker, who used to be the CEO, the executive chair Mark Parker, he controls 10% of influence of both of them, more than the outgoing CEO.
So Nike is Phil Knight owns the majority of the dual class shares. Phil Knight puts his son, Travis Knight, on the board. The old CEO is the current executive chair, and he's still there. And they rehire a guy who was there for 30 years as the new CEO. Are there any other people other than Phil Knight's besties and cousins on this board?
I say this to all you investors out there, all you stewards and all you voters and all you peeps who like this kind of data. Look at the companies where the CEOs have less influence than like the chair or the founder, and maybe target those. That might be a good target, right? To mix stuff up.
You definitely have to be asking the question: why does the CEO of this company like 4th on the list of power?
And we see this a lot. We've seen this a lot related to turnover at the CEO. Because that's the big story. The first big story: Nike CEO John Donahoe is out. The second big story. Kind of a laughable story, but making a lot of headlines. Even some of my dopey friends just texted me this story because they got a kick out of this one. 23andMe's independent board directors resign. All of them. They're all gone.
I love this story.
All
this
of
is
them.
actually one of my favorite stories of the year.
In response, CEO Ann Washicki, Ann, right? Not Susan.
Yeah,
Ann.
Yeah.
Said in an SEC filing, she said, I am surprised and disappointed. We, another we, Matt, we will immediately begin identifying independent directors to join the board. But here's the problem. It's not a we, it's a she. She controls half of the voting power at this company because of an insipid dual class share structure where her Class B shares give her 10 votes per each share. What a concept. 10 votes per share.
I love being worth 10 times a normal person.
So
that's
stupid.
That's how I define myself.
So it's a she. 23 and she. 23 and her.
I like the we. This is actually
We.
I think the story of the week is we.
Yeah,
like
Phil
when
Knight saying we.
individuals who run a company say we about the
No,
company.
they don't run a company. They control the company.
They control the company.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
That's the second big story. The third story, we're getting a little nerdy here, but this is in our wheelhouse. And maybe this is actually a great counterpoint to the first two stories. Massimo CEO Joe Chiani is ousted from the board after a proxy fight with Politan Capital. Here's why it's important. Because they have a single class of equity there where one share equals one vote. So Joe Chiani, yes, owned 9% of shares, but only 9% of voting power. So he doesn't actually get to control, despite the fact that he founded the company, he doesn't get to control every goddamn thing that happens.
Oh, what?
So it's a kind of a good news there, kind of, right?
I mean, it's good news for who?
Good news for us because we're constantly shouting about dual class share structures.
That's true. We
Yeah.
do say that a lot.
I'm exhausted. And the fourth big story.
You've only done 3. You're already
Yeah,
exhausted.
the fourth one, I don't really know if this relates. It must somehow. The Federal Reserve cuts U.S. interest rates for the first time in 4 years. Does that count as a story? I don't know.
Oh, wow. You're really floundering if
Yeah.
you're doing Fed Reserve.
I don't really know much
rate
about
cuts.
this. My only angle on this, of course, is the political angle where I'm praying it's going to help a certain woman. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for, but I'm hoping it's it's going to help the woman. But I don't know anything beyond that. I mean, I'm sure it's going to help corporations that we cover. I just don't know how yet.
Look, actually, the thing it's worst for a rate cut is every fucking Jamie Dimon says blowhard out there.
Why?
Who's been talking about what the Fed should or shouldn't do,
Yeah.
which we didn't hit a recession. So
Didn't they tell us we were
every
going to?
one of them was
Over
telling
and
us
over and
we
over?
were going. The next Great Depression is coming. We're
Yeah.
all going to die because of this thing, and it didn't happen. You're right. This is a weak payload this week.
Did I miss something? Did I miss anything?
No, I like the 23andMe one just because it's so funny.
Yeah, it's a fun story.
Just so you know, Nike shares up 8% on the news that their CEO got shit canned.
Yeah.
Massimo's shares up 5%. Thanks to the activist. 23andMe, when a board resigns, negative 0.03%. No one cared. No one cares that the board resigned.
To be fair, isn't their share price like 3 pennies?
It's 33 cents.
Now
Yes,
listen, you mentioned Nike. Here's the thing. You mentioned that the Nike guy was shit canned, but can I just tell you one of my pet peeves about the corporate governance world is that despite the fact that he clearly sucks, everyone in the company kind of hates him. Shareholders hate him. Stakeholders hate him. Even Phil Knight hates him. He's not even fired. They're letting him resign, which means he gets to collect all of the equity. All the outstanding equity is going to vest. He's going to get millions and millions of dollars. Why? Why do shareholders have to pay for him to leave like this? Fire him. He sucks. Get rid of him.
But by who is giving the quotes in the stories, why, right? Because the only 2 people quoted from Nike are Mark Parker, who is the executive chair. So the chair of the board makes sense to have a quote. But Parker worked with Donahoe, so they must have been friendly. and Phil Knight, who doesn't work at the company, but is quoted as saying, quote, where did it go? Quote, it's something about how leadership transitions are always hard. Like, you're not there.
At Disney.
Leadership changes are never easy. They test you. They challenge you. But this transition has been handled with remarkable thoughtfulness.
Yeah, because we
and
hate
an
John.
Unwavering commitment to Nike, says Knight.
I gotta say this. This is reason number 14,325 that you should not stack your board committees or your board with former or current CEOs, because they're always going to do what's in the best interest of themselves, which is we can't fire each other and not get like big golden parachutes. We have to let each other resign even when we suck.
Yeah. There's no golden showers.
What's your pick? Story of the week. I might veto this too. I don't know.
No, you can't veto my choice.
There's only one answer here, I think.
Yeah, it's 23andMe.
Yes, that's
what it is. Because look, there are a lot of other stories. There were Musk stories.
Everybody.
There was assassination attempts.
All of them.
It was like, I don't care. It's just so much. You're inundated.
The whole board.
You never will get to see an entire board resign again. Like, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's like, that's like a once in a lifetime.
And let's be clear here. These aren't like, renegade alternative thinkers like academics. Or one of them is Neil Mohan, who's the current CEO of YouTube, where Ann's sister was just formerly CEO. Ann's sister Susan passed away recently. But I'm saying these are people that know each other is what I'm getting at, right?
Oh, not only do they know each other, but the hypocrisy of a board complaining about voting control by one person when they sit on a dozen other boards where the voting control is held by one person.
You're previewing my winner
fabulous.
of the week. You're previewing my winner, but you're right.
It's really fabulous.
Because they weren't upset. They did cite her control being one of the problems, one of the reasons why they're leaving, but they didn't seem to worry about it for the first years of their tenure there.
No problem.
No, it's fine.
Problem. It was fine.
As long as you make me money.
When the share price went up, they were happy with, suddenly control's cool.
All right, come on, let's move on. Goodliest.
All right, let's go. Are we doing your Goodliest? Oh, me. Oh, okay.
Well, is it you? I'm going to warn the audience here. Matt is really kind of put a dagger into the back of Goodliest. Like these stories don't, I don't know what you're doing, but these just seem like jokes.
All right, so two of them are really good.
Yeah, but these are a little sarcastic, are they not? Okay, go ahead.
Two of them are like,
I want to feel good in this section. Go ahead.
All right, well, the first one will make you feel good. Tyson Foods sued over emissions reductions promises.
I can get behind that. Okay.
So the Environmental Working Group, they actually allege that they misled customers by labeling beef climate smart.
Yeah.
That's what they. What they labeled beef.
I think what they were
cows.
They were referring to the cows. I think because some of them went to 4-year accredited universities and got their. I
think that's true. So they are actually suing. It's great because it's like a line in the sand that says you can't be a big fat fucking liar.
You know what this is? This is the reverse. This is reverse engineering of Darren Woods at Exxon. So Darren Woods is suing shareholders for putting stuff like this on the proxy statement, right? Shareholder proposals. So what these people are saying is fine. We won't introduce a shareholder proposal. We'll just sue you for this.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
I like everything you're saying. That's great. That's number one.
All right.
Number two is just funny, and it's Goodliest for that reason.
I don't know if you're using the category correctly. Go ahead.
Tucker Carlson plans to start a nicotine pouch company after deciding Zyn is, quote, not a brand for men.
Well, I guess I'm not a real man in the first place, because what's a nicotine pouch?
It's like
It's
the same thing. It's
what?
You put it in your like.
It's chewing tobacco.
It's chewing tobacco, but it comes in a little pouch now,
like a purse.
Yeah,
a male purse.
It's like a male.
So where does this go? Just get to this quickly. What's he pissed about? Yeah,
he joked on a podcast that he's been a spokesman for this company for a long time.
I mean, are these jokes
he
anymore?
quote unquote joked on a podcast, air quote joked on a podcast that it would make your genitals enhanced if you were a man. Like he said that on a podcast.
To take the tobacco that he's selling.
Yeah, the one that he's selling is like manly. It will.
Why is it manly?
It was like a ... It will even enhance your genitals, like that kind of thing.
This is disappointing.
The company turns out is owned by Philip Morris, right? So
what Zinn?
Zinn,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
So this is just a subsidiary.
That seems
of
manly.
Philip Morris.
Philip Morris seems manly as a company. Not only do they sell cigarettes forever and kill people, which is very manly. Killing people is manly, but also it's Philip Morris. It's named after a man. I mean, that's how much more manly can you get?
I mean, that
right?
That would argument over. But Philip Morris actually put out a statement that said no.
Okay.
It does not enhance your genitals. That's what they.
This is all weird. I don't like any of this.
And they said they had to clarify. The fact that they had to clarify is already like pure comedic gold.
Yeah.
And then Tucker Carlson said, "You're a bunch of quote liberal drones."
Philip Morris is.
Yeah, Philip Morris
is
a bunch of liberal drones.
Fresh out of Oberlin, yeah.
Yeah, we are talking about a tobacco company, right? Liberal drones.
Yeah.
And claimed that they were donating to Kamala.
Oh, good. That I approve
They do
of.
not donate to anybody. It's actually a company policy. And that maybe this would be good for, quote, your girlfriend or something because it starts with the letter Z. I don't even know what that means.
Zinn. I don't understand what that means.
I don't know what that means. But look, this is somebody, I love a good story where someone literally says nothing of substance for like minutes on end.
Well, you're describing...
And then everybody just smiles.
All right. Well, you're describing the entire anti-woke, anti-ESG movement.
I think it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud reading the story.
All right, move on in the press.
All right, number 3, Jamie Dimon.
Yeah.
It should say says, but it says tells.
Yeah. Well, no, I think tells is better.
You think so? Jamie Dimon tells.
It's more scolding.
Jamie Dimon tells Gen Z to stop wasting its time on TikTok and read books instead. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, Jamie.
Brilliant. What kind of books? Did you tell us what kind of books? The phone book?
Anything by Milton Friedman. Okay. That's fine. I just love that Jamie Dimon, not only can he not stop weighing in on like Fed rate cuts and unemployment policy, and like he weighs in on everything. Now he's literally sitting in an interview saying, "You damn kids are on the computers too much. Read a book."
Well,
and I agree with them.
I'm going to play a sound effect. I'm going to play a sound effect. This is the sound of,
it's not going to work,
of all of Gen Z listening to Jamie Dimon. That's it. That's the sound effect. Nobody cares.
Finally, for an actual Goodliest. So see how I did this? I bookended the Goodliest.
What do you got?
One at the beginning, one at the end. Cleanup Group says it's on track to eliminate the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Okay, is this on track meaning like within 18 months or 2050? How on track are they?
They're on track by 2034. They said they're going to get there.
2034?
Yeah, they're on track to get there.
2030. I mean, okay, Matt. Call me when they put out this quote that they just saw the last Diet Coke can. When they say that, I'm happy.
I'm just saying, look, this
2034, geez.
This is 79,000 metric tons of plastic waste floating in the Pacific Ocean.
Why don't
it's twice the size of Texas.
Why can't we
2x?
Why
Texas.
can't we outfit all the Carnival cruises with like a giant garbage disposal on the front of all their ships and just like eat all the plastic as they sail around? Why can't they do that?
I mean, I don't. Well, I think you should go join the nonprofit that's doing this.
Okay,
you clearly have better ideas than them.
Yeah.
The sad part about the story is when you do read the story, they say they're on track, right?
Yeah.
But when you read the story, they've gotten rid of 0.5% of it.
Oh,
so
wow.
far. That's what. But that's how much there is.
Wow.
Like you can't. What do you expect? Miracles? They're cleaning the ocean. The entire Pacific Ocean.
And is there a plan in progress that stops the current polluting of plastics?
No. We just add to it as we go.
Well, you know what? I remember as a kid, I remember reading this something about I think it was the Golden Gate Bridge, that it took them so long to paint the bridge that by the time that the workers were done, they'd have to start over and paint it again because of the corrosion from the bay. All right, well, this is a tough one.
So those are your four. Tyson Foods sued over emissions reduction promises, Tucker Carlson's nicotine pouch jokes, Jamie Dimon tells, and cleanup group on track.
I'll just take the easy way out here because I'm already bored of this category. I'll just go, I like anything involving Tyson Foods.
All right. Well, you know what? It did not say
he was chief sustainability officer.
The CF,
the nephew, the grandson, the great grandson who was CFO and got fired for being drunk everywhere and waking up in women's beds and strange women's beds. He was chief sustainability officer before he became CFO.
I'm pretty sure that is his climate smart beef. Actually, that's his marketing. His chief sustainability officer.
It very well could
be. The timeline actually works out that
very
way.
well could be.
No, I'm not joking.
But I'm voting for that one because I want to keep Tyson Foods alive in our world. All right.
I don't think they're going anywhere.
Come on, let's move on. Exhausting us. Come on. I'm up.
Good, because I have a long one for Assholiest.
Yeah, I thought we'd keep your depressing stuff to the end, although exhausting is pretty depressing too.
It's all depressing. Everything's depressing.
Well, that's why Goodliest, I want you to find 4 good stories. We gotta get Ari back.
Stories, so you gotta find them.
All right, I'll pull the good stories and you can read them. All right, exhaustingest of the week. Of course, I always put in an Elon Musk story until we get rid of him. This one, boy, I read this one. This is from Bloomberg. This is a crazy story. Secret Service probing Musk's post about threats to Biden and Harris. And I'm sure most of you know that after the second attempt against that orange guy, Trump, the second assassination attempt against him, Elon Musk quickly came out with a tweet saying, like, why aren't we going after basically Kamala and Biden, right? That's what he said, essentially.
So I got a question about this. Just point of clarification, because I read, but it seems like there's differing reports, or no one said it straight up. There was no actual assassination attempt. There was a guy waiting in the bushes with weaponry, ready for an assassination.
You're off.
If he came close,
you're
right?
off topic, but fine, great.
You're still a
little off topic. A little off topic.
I just want to. An assassination attempt sounds like attacked,
sure.
Right? Like it's and I want to be sure, because what Musk tweeted was someone go kill Biden or Harris.
Yeah.
Why isn't anyone killing them? Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and let's not forget, this is not like some of your dumb friends, Matt, who really, no offense to your friends, they don't have much of a reach on Twitter. They really don't.
Wait, I'm not. First of all, I'm not on Twitter really.
Yeah, but your dumb friends are.
I don't have any friends,
and they don't have a lot. They don't have a huge reach. This, let's not forget, this guy's megaphone is massive, and he's appealing
30 million,
and he's appealing to mostly degenerate incel white men who are scary in the first place.
I thought it was Russian bots. That's mostly his followers.
What are we doing here? I mean, this is like the next level scary to me. I don't know. I mean, you don't think that Elon Musk has the capability of actually talking one of these creepy followers into something? Because he probably does.
He has Starlink, which he can triangulate where anybody is at any time if he wanted to, if they're using that. He has cars, which people get in, and he can override and probably. I mean, like,
and he has diehard fans.
If you want a conspiracy theory, is there anything more conspiracy than Elon Musk's existence?
I hope the Secret Service does something about this. The next exhausting.
I hope the board does something. The exhausting part is that. That's the exhausting part is where the fuck is the board?
The second exhausting story of the week, GOP woke week advances package of anti-ESG bills.
Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
We'll come back to this. This is the dumbest thing. It's so dumb.
And finally, the third story, which is exhausting, and I feel like we're the only ones who seem to care about this stuff. There's actually a headline I'll read after I read this one that really sums it up well. But this is from the New York Times. FTC study finds vast surveillance of social media users. So what they're saying is that these big data companies collected even more data than we already realized.
Wow.
Yeah. And, yes, we should be screaming and upset. But this headline kind of sums up our reaction to all this pretty well. This is from Business Insider. Sam Altman may be in his villain era, but no one seems to care. I think it's just like there's so much noise around this that people don't know how to deal. They don't know how to react, right? And this is why we scream just daily about the fact that these men, these boys, these college dropouts shouldn't have absolute control of the companies that they run, right? They shouldn't have absolute voting power over everything.
In contrast, it does make Phil Knight's control over your shoes.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm now okay with that.
I'm okay with that. If we have to trade, Phil, yeah, you keep the Air Jordans, whatever. I don't care.
Keep it, yeah.
So those are the three exhausting stories of the week.
So I have to choose between Musk threatening to kill Biden and Harris, GOP's anti-ESG bills.
Woke week. And this is their second woke week, isn't it? Didn't we cover woke week last year?
Yeah, there was woke week over the summer. It was like woke minute, and no one cared.
Yeah.
We were the only ones who covered it because it was so stupid. And the FTC study finding vast surveillance of social media users.
Let's not forget that it was this week. I didn't even pick this story, but Larry Ellison. Is Larry Ellison the one who just took over Paramount?
Yep. Yeah.
Larry Ellison of Oracle.
His quote-unquote son.
Yeah, Larry Ellison, he's all excited because he's telling everyone that in the future there'll be a vast AI-fueled surveillance system that's basically going to watch us all constantly, and he thinks will eradicate bad behavior because of this.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a great idea.
They actually they've made science fiction dystopian movies about this.
Multiple, yeah.
Multiple. But he's excited. He's excited by this. Yeah.
Well, if you're the guy controlling the AI system, you are the one who's excited.
Yeah, this is yet another dude who has a disproportionate control of his companies because of dual class voting shares.
Dual class shares.
Yeah.
I don't. Then I hate all of these.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea, I think.
That's oh man.
Yeah, how are you gonna vote for this one?
So I refuse to vote for Musk.
As you shouldn't.
In fact, I worked really hard to not have a Musk story in the asshole. Of the week,
except in your nuggets this week, you picked like 3 Musk stories.
But I would like to vote for the 4th story that's not in here. So I
may allow this.
So the pager explosions.
Yeah.
This Israeli attack.
Hezbollah.
They're saying it's against Hezbollah. The exhausting thing to me, and this is going to be the weirdest exhaustingest you ever heard.
I don't know if I'm going to like this. Should I put on my tinfoil hat for this comment?
No. It's just going to be a weird connection because effectively, pro-Israel, anti-Israel, pro-Hezbollah. I don't know, is anybody that? Anti-Hezbollah, whatever you are, that's not the point to me. What Israel did, if the reports are true, is they manufactured, it was a terrorist attack effectively on Hezbollah, but they manufactured over the course.
But Hezbollah is a terrorist organization?
Yeah, it's a terrorist attack on a terrorist organization.
Okay.
It's everything
except
about
Israel
it,
is a state. It's a sovereign state.
Everything about it to me is horrible.
Yeah. I don't like that we're talking
because
about this,
little kids play with my you have your phone.
This is not what this show is about. But go ahead.
But here's what I think is exhausting. Israel managed, if it is in fact true that this is what happened, Israel managed over the course of a half a decade or more to build through a supply chain these devices that they got in the hands of these particular people.
Yeah.
And we hear stories how none of these companies can figure out how to manage their supply chains when it comes to climate risk.
I see what you're doing here.
Pollution. You see what I'm doing?
I see where you're going, yeah.
See, the most exhausting thing I can hear is how complex your supply chain is. You know what's complex? Getting 70 people in fucking Lebanon to buy your pagers that are loaded with explosives.
Yeah, but
that's complex.
But you've watched James Bond movies. Isn't this how it rolls?
I'm just saying.
I don't like what you're saying. That's not the exhausting story that we pick. Quickly pick and let's move on. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna pick. I refuse to vote for Musk, so it's got to be vast surveillance.
Oh, let's go.
It's gotta
move
be.
on.
That's what it's got to be. All right, let's go on to Assholiest.
Something tells me you're gonna pick up on a lot of the stories I've already covered.
Well, we're gonna start with the winner of the week. I'm going back to my old format with some data up front. Ready? Yeah. Here's the data. We have access to 10,429 companies
Thank
in free
God.
float analytics database.
God.
That's what we have access
Well,
to.
all of our listeners do too. Anyone listening and their friends, if they have friends, they also have access.
Yeah, you just go log on, you get it. But in those companies, we found 4,565 of them are tagged as totalitarian companies.
Meaning what?
Meaning those are companies where a single person, like a founder or a family,
Phil Knight,
or
Nike.
It could be a controlled company, like the state controls it. It could be
Meta platforms.
Basically, what it means is there's one person or two people that have outsized influence on the company. They
Elon
control the company's influence and power.
Mm-hmm.
Those boards of 4,565 companies, 19,872 directors are wholly independent. They're not family. They're not executives. They're not insiders. They could be like friends with the people, but they're tagged for all intents and purposes as independent directors on those boards.
Yeah.
19,870, nearly 20,000 directors. The number of those directors that quit and protest because their founders were dual class founders and were doing something heinous or they didn't like until yesterday was approximately zero.
Well, how do you know? How do you know?
Well, we know that there was a director at Tesla who quit and protest.
That's true.
We know that.
Yeah.
I'm saying whole boards.
Oh, whole boards.
The
yes,
whole
of course,
board
of course,
quitting
whole
in
boards.
protest.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yes.
So the asshole here is whole boards of independent directors who do not fucking quit and protest of controlled companies. What are you doing?
This is slightly juvenile logic, but they know what they're signing up for. They know the paycheck they're getting. They know is just a bunch of nonsense, right? I mean, they're there for a free ride. No.
Okay, so you have.
They're there not to do anything.
I would expect then these boards to be filled with like local insurance agents and like librarians who don't get paid that much and are more than happy to go to 12 meetings a year and say nothing and just rubber stamp whatever.
Except I think the librarians actually would. They probably would push back.
You think so?
Especially at data companies. Yeah.
Well, the founder can axe the librarians. That's fine. But these are highly trained, like top of their game people, like Peggy Alford's on the Meta board. Mm-hmm. Brad Smith, who is he's an executive at Microsoft. He's on not one but two totalitarian boards in free float analytics data. He's on the Netflix board and the Amazon board, both of which have founders with massive outsized shares.
And that's big comp, big for those boards for directors.
He's on two. Robin Washington on two totalitarian boards, Salesforce and Alphabet.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who are on multiple. These are the people at the top of their game. You don't need the extra cash. You're sitting on that board for the cachet.
You think it goes
Any board would have you.
You think it goes something like this? Like let's say Amazon board. They say, "What do you think, Brad?" And Brad says, "What did the founder say again?" He said, "He said blue." Yeah, blue. I think it's blue.
Yeah, I mean, like that's exactly correct. That's like, what is the point of you being there? You should all quit and protest. No. Notwithstanding the fact that if you are on Meta's board, for instance, which is the fakest of fake boards, Mark Andreessen, Andrew Houston, Tracy Travis, Peggy Alford, Tony Hsu, Robert Komet, Nancy Killefer, and John Arnold. Mm-hmm. If you're one of those people and you're listening to this show, get the rest of those people to all quit simultaneously because literally teen depression, body dysmorphia, destroying elections, every possible negative like wide-scale negative thing that could happen has happened because of the company you sit on, and you're cool with it. Yeah. Meanwhile, 23andMe's board all quit because the shares were at 30 cents a share. That's why they quit. That's just stupidity. You're all fucking assholes.
Wait, so who are the assholes precisely? It's all of the independent directors at totalitarian boards who have not yet resigned en masse.
Not yet resigned in protest. Yes, every one of them.
Okay. How many companies are we talking about?
We're talking about 4,565 companies and 19,872
This might
directors.
Be your biggest like asshole subset at
the
once.
Most asshole single.
What else you got? Come on,
Brad.
What else?
Also, bonus asshole here.
Yeah.
Republican lawmaker, saw this headline.
Boy.
Republican lawmakers issues warning about far left Facebook board billionaire John Arnold.
Far left.
Yeah, that's right. They're worried
far
about far left John Arnold.
Are there a lot of far left billionaires? Is that a thing we find?
There's like one or two.
Okay.
It's like occasionally a thing. All right, here's number 2.
Yeah.
Here's the data. High school only graduates are twice as likely to be unemployed as college graduates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you graduate from high school and that's the highest degree you attain, you're twice as likely to be unemployed. Typical earnings for a bachelor's degree holder is $40,500 a year, which is 86% higher than if high school was the highest you
Makes
attained.
me feel sad for high school graduates. That's
that
not
number,
a lot of money. Yeah.
when you adjust it, which the Social Security agency in the United States adjusted that number for social demographic data, they found that the gap is a little narrower, but it holds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just don't make as much money. Median lifetime earnings are $1.2 million higher for a bachelor's degree holder.
That seems like an important figure. That seems important.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is a big fucking deal. Graduating from college, big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Here's your asshole.
I would say. Yes.
Sam Altman.
I know why.
And whatever other dude, whatever other tech bro fucking asshole dude is saying, yeah, just be a billionaire. It's cool. Here's the headline. Sam Altman tells high schoolers dropping out of college wasn't a big deal.
Great. Wonderful. What a role model.
Because every one of those high schoolers is going to go on to create something that destroys the universe and claims that it's for the benefit of mankind and be a billionaire.
And good luck getting a job at OpenAI without a college degree. Good luck with that.
Yeah, like how many people are you hiring?
Yeah.
Like what a fucking asshole thing to say. Wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, he is an asshole. All right, I like that one. Number 2. What else? Number 3.
All right, number 3. Let's go back to an old favorite.
Uh-oh.
There's no data here. This is just a headline, and you already covered it. Roll back ESG to increase Retirement Earnings Act. Huh? The ESG bill that Congress has passed.
Roll back
anti-ESG.
Roll back ESG to increase Retirement Earnings Act. Okay.
That's right. They're calling it the Retire Act.
If the globe still exists by the time you retire. Yeah, go ahead.
Roll back, they ignore the B, ESG to increase Retirement Earnings Act. Retire.
Mm-hmm.
Retire Act.
Clever.
The guy who wrote or sponsored this bill is pure minted asshole.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Rick Allen.
I'm already out.
He's a rep out of Georgia.
Yeah.
He happily tried to amend the Constitution to ban gay marriage.
Why?
His argument to do so was actually just a Bible passage.
Oh, okay.
And he said anyone who voted for it was going to hell.
Well, I'm glad he's using facts.
He sued with Texas to overturn the 2020 election.
Yeah.
He was one of the deniers.
Biden did cheat.
He failed to disclose his own stock holdings and got censured for it because,
you gotta do that.
He didn't do that. He is on the Energy and Commerce Committee. It's so weird that someone on the Energy and Commerce Committee would want to roll back ESG. Mm-hmm. His biggest contributors are a local Caterpillar dealer, the Koch brothers.
DEI flip-floppers, yeah.
A lumber company, and the National Chicken Council. That's who.
How many chickens are on the National Chicken Council? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't have a count. It's not in free flow analytics data. Do not look for chickens in that.
That's
data.
a board I want to cover. The chicken board.
But mostly, the worst thing about this bill, the bill that they proposed, is nothing burger. It's basically a whole bunch of language about
political theater.
You must consider pecuniary factors.
Yeah.
You could do ESG data all day long and ignore this. It doesn't change anything, with the exception of killing proxy voting by paperwork.
Okay.
Here's the passage from the bill. Quote, every time you vote a proxy, you must, quote, maintain a record of any proxy voting activity, or other exercise of a shareholder right, including any attempt to influence management. They now want you to keep a document every time you talk to management, every time you talk about a proxy, every analysis that you have, every record of the vote.
I'd like to see that.
And the reason why they want you to do that is because they also added this part in. Quote, the fiduciary duty to manage shareholder rights opportunent to shares of stock does not require the voting of every proxy or the exercise of every shareholder right. So what they've said, what this bill is amending used to say you have a fiduciary duty, and that's all it really said. Now they're saying you can skip your right to vote.
Yeah.
But if you do choose your right to vote, you have to write everything down you've ever thought about every vote that you're about to take. That's basically what they're trying to kill the shareholder democracy.
Yeah, but that's how the GOP rules. They love killing democracy.
Killing democracy.
They love killing
paperwork.
They hate voting.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, this is terrible.
You know what, investors,
can we just end this category
blame.
now? Can I just vote for Rick Allen now?
All right, those are your three. You got the boards, 19,872 directors sitting on boards, not quitting in protest.
That's fine.
Sam Altman telling high schoolers dropping out of college.
I do hate that one.
No biggie.
I do hate that one.
And Rick Allen.
That's your winner. That's your winner.
Oh, there it is. Wow, I didn't expect that.
I mean, really, just you don't have to vote. Yeah, I like that takeaway. You don't have to get involved.
You don't have to vote. But if you do, be sure you write down everything you've ever done and thought about it.
I'm just sick of the theater. Okay. Can we wrap this show up?
Let's you know what? I'm not even going to play the music for the last bit here. We're going to do headliniest, winners, and predictions. And
Let's do it.
Let's
Headlines.
Let's do it.
Let me go first because I'm sticking on this ESG train, this anti-ESG train. This is my headline. I like this one. It's very simple. ESG is coming for your toilet paper.
Oh. Do you remember when we had an appearance on this show by Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
Who's, I think, related to Tucker or knows him adjacent. He did a whole episode where he talked about how you were brushing your teeth with wokeness or something. Wasn't there an episode of it?
This is essentially the same story. Is that they're angry that someone put out a research paper basically analyzing the differences in toilet paper, the manufacturers and their how they manufacture, their commitments to climate, all the stuff that you can imagine that comes out of these papers. They're angry at that because they think it means that people on the left basically want to take your toilet paper away from you. Which actually that was basically day 2 of my training at MSCI was how are we going to concoct a system to get rid of people's toilet paper? What can we do?
Yeah, we really want people not to use toilet paper anymore. Here's my headline. Real Madrid's $1.9 billion stadium cancels all concerts because the music was too loud.
I don't know where to go with this one. Instead of just turning the music down a little bit,
they can't find the volume button. Yeah. It's just not.
Maybe someone snapped it off. Yeah.
I think it was actually Taylor Swift who killed it too. I think the last concert they have was Taylor Swift, and it wasn't. It was. This was back in May. They haven't had a concert since May. Yeah.
Really?
Right, who won the week?
This is true.
This is true. This is actually
so you
true.
can play a stupid game, but you can't sing a stupid song.
That's right. Yeah.
Kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Who won the week? I got 23andMe, the 23andMe directors, the board. We talked about them a lot this show for pretending to look like independent director heroes when, as you pointed out, when really all they were doing is they're just mad about the share price.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
But it's going around that they're gonna look like kind of folk heroes for standing up.
Yeah, I know. You're not.
No,
you're not.
But they do win for this PR move, this stunt they're pulling.
In an 8K too. They didn't put out like a press release. This was an 8K where it came out. It was a letter to the CEO, and then they had to get released as an 8K. Really, the winner should be the 8K.
The 8K?
Yeah.
The institution of the 8K?
What a great place. You want some news. I
would agree, but I spend so much of my week looking into hundreds of 8Ks that I hate the 8K.
I had a similar winner, except the opposite winner, which was Anne Wojcicki.
Okay. She's the she in 23andMe. She's the me.
She is the CEO and founder and dual class owner and the me of 23andMe. Yeah. Finally, she can conduct a board meeting in just a bathrobe if she wants to. There's no more fake listening. There's no more sitting on your BlackBerry while Gary talks. Oh my God, this guy won't shut up. He's just going to do what I say anyway because I got. Now she can just show up. Imagine her walking into the boardroom for the first time and it's just crickets. But she has to have board meetings, so she's there by herself. That sounds amazing.
This is a weird one. We've never had like winners that are diametric opposites.
I know. I
don't know how to take this one.
You got the people that left, and I got the people that are staying.
All right, let's go to predictions and get the hell out of here. You go first because mine is a little bit long-winded.
All right, mine is really short. My winner, or my prediction is John Donahoe, the now ex-CEO of Nike, newly retired.
Retired, yeah.
Retired.
Yeah, he got tired, so now he's retired.
He joins the board of 23andMe because he's so used to like overvoting founders, and who gives a shit?
Not?
He's got so much time on his hands. Just do it.
Hey, kill that music. I got a prediction.
What? No, I know you've got a prediction.
It's a little long-winded.
You're supposed to play it out.
Stay with me here. Okay, originally I was thinking about Southwest Airlines, target of Elliott Management, right? And I thought, there's going to be a Glasscliff CEO, right? Southwest Airlines, perfect moment for a Glasscliff CEO.
There's an activist involved.
Right, and I just thought, like, Southwest is a bit of a dumpster fire. What better you put a woman in there, she lasts 18 months and you fire her, and then you get a man again. Like, I just thought it was a perfect moment for that. But then I looked at an article called "Long-Term Returns of Paul Singer's Activist Targets." Okay, they highlighted 15 companies that Paul Singer has at Elliott Management has targeted, and I looked at all 15 of them. This includes companies like Juniper Networks, PayPal, Alcoa. All 15 of them are run by dudes. All of them.
Oh no!
So. It kind of kills my prediction, so I'm going to just say it's going to be a man. But I also wanted to point out that I saw there was an article in June reported that Paul Singer is under scrutiny for gifting conservative Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito an undisclosed private flight and donating $10 million to Senate Republicans' super PAC. So I guess my instinct here is off. Paul Singer.
So you're saying he's not voting
it's
for
going to be a
woman
man. It's going to be a
at
man.
any point. Oh.
Yeah.
And that's a good prediction.
And before we get out of here, what's your data drop?
All right, my data drop this week, and this is why it's massive, is all of the independent directors on totalitarian boards.
Whoa.
Every single one of them.
Wow.
Their influence and their performance. You can see it all.
Whoa. It's a lot.
19,000 directors, free data.
LLC. Freefloats.LLC.
That's a lot. That's Hazelnut Rawless. I'm your AnalystHole-man Matt Moscardi. We are Free Float. If you like this, go check out Proxy Countdown. We just covered FedEx. Fred Smith and FedEx and the FedEx board. We also dropped on Wednesday, we dropped Shareholder Primacy, which is not us. It's Mike Levin and Ann Lipton.
Yeah, but they're under our tutelage. Yes, they are.
They're way above our tutelage.
No, under our tutelage.
I know what episode's coming up next week and the week after that. They are fascinating people. You need to. That's like a serious podcast for serious nerds who just want to get serious about governance. So go check that out. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye.